This video was recorded live before a canned studio audience. It's Friday Night Movie Reviews, and here they are, Chris and Keith.
Hi. Hello. I'm Keith.
I'm Chris.
And this is Friday Night Movie Reviews. Been a little bit since we've been back. We had some videos, but we had some technical difficulties with some of those videos, so we had to delete them. We couldn't post them, unfortunately. It would have been nice if we could have. But we went and saw a movie, and we actually didn't see this one together. That's kind of become a habit with us here recently.
Yeah. You know, the holidays, they put this one out at a bad time.
Yeah, they did.
And they really shouldn't have, honestly.
Probably not.
Yeah, it's I guess this is probably kind of maybe spoiling.
Yeah, I think you kind of got the gist of what it is that we're reviewing today. Let's put this off to the side so it's not too in the way.
So this is the brand new Anaconda 2025 version of the film.
Right.
It is a spiritual successor to the original because it's set in a universe where the original Anaconda movie came out at the theaters, and these are fans of the movie.
Right.
If you've seen the trailer.
Right. We're not really giving anything away. And this has Jack Black, Paul Rudd in it,
Steve Zahn, and Thandie Newton.
And in case you're wondering, this is not really the most serious Anaconda movie.
No.
And I think you can kind of pick that up from the trailers as well.
Yeah, you know, immediately when you got Jack Black, Paul Rudd, and Steve Zahn.
Especially Jack Black.
You know you're not in for a serious movie.
Yeah, you're not getting a serious movie. I don't think Jack Black has a serious bone in his body.
No, I don't think that's his wheelhouse because, you know, any serious roles I think are going to go like wash under the table there.
Right.
You know,
right. What is this?
Because what are people going to name that he's done? School of Rock. You know, that's one be the biggest one.
Right.
You know, Shallow Hal.
Minecraft.
Which we've reviewed here on the channel.
Yes, we have.
Shameless plug.
Shameless plug. Watch it. But yes, we went and saw Anaconda, the 2025 version, and the basic gist of the movie is this group of friends. We're not giving any spoilers. You can gather all of this from the previews. This group of friends that have been friends together since they were kids.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Since they were kids, have had this big dream of creating a big Hollywood movie, and so they each go on their separate ways in life, and then they come back together for a birthday party, and they end up going to the Amazon to film another Anaconda movie because they all want to live out this dream.
Yeah, because they literally grew up watching this movie when they were in high school.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they could quote the movie. They were like super fans, and they're like, "Hey, let's remake Anaconda ourselves.
Right.
We can do it." Because Paul Rudd is an actor in the film, and basically Jack Black is like he's a movie guy too, basically. And so they're like, "We can do this," and so they're basically just complete amateurs going out to the Amazon thinking, okay, this is going to work out for us.
Right.
We're going to remake Anaconda ourselves.
We're going to get a snake with a snake handler guy, and we'll film this movie, and we will, according to them, we're going to reboot the Anaconda movies.
Yeah.
They were going to reboot the movies.
Yeah, because honestly, this is the only other Anaconda one that's actually made it to theater. The other ones they made went straight to DVD into the Sci-Fi Channel.
Right.
Especially when you have a movie called Lake Placid versus Anaconda.
Yeah.
Which is not even the name of the alligator. That's when you know your franchise has hit rock bottom when you're become a Sci-Fi exclusive. I'm sorry if you're a fan of Sci-Fi exclusive movies.
Yeah.
They're not the best made. I'm sorry, Sharknado. It's just just no.
No.
But yeah, so
and anytime you have like two universes joining, like Freddy Krueger and Jason, and like Predator and Alien, I mean, those movies just don't really jive.
Yeah,
You know?
it's hard to bring two franchises together. It just the most unlikeliest of scenarios possible with these films. But
Right.
so clearly, this is a comedic take on Anaconda. This was
Right.
not serious like the original one with Ice Cube and J-Lo was.
Now, let me put a disclaimer here.
Mhm.
It's not to say that there aren't some serious or intense moments
Yes.
in this movie, because there are.
You can it's basically a comedic horror movie. I mean, that's really what you can kind of put it down to.
It's a horror com.
It's a horror com, yeah.
let's key some new phrases here.
Yeah.
We have rom horror, and now we have com horror.
Yep, exactly. And that's totally what this movie is. If you've seen any comedic horror movie, it can have elements in it like that that are legitimately scary or violent or anything else.
Right.
And because you're dealing with a big giant snake that eats people, and clearly from the trailers, they actually run into a real live giant sized anaconda that is eating people.
And I believe this one is probably bigger than any of the others in any of the other movies, because this thing is huge.
And I have to say,
humongous.
Like, you're talking, that one was made, the original one was made years ago. At least the CGI on this snake actually looked real.
Right.
Like, I was like, I was actually legitimately sitting there going, yeah, I don't want to get eaten by this thing.
Right,
like it got me. I enjoyed it. With the snake.
So let's get into some logistics of it. I don't know. Kind of judge whether or not you take your kids to it. Judge it by your own kid. I took my youngest son to it, and listen, he laughed through the whole thing. Now there aren't there's no adult situations in it.
Yep, so you don't have to worry about that. Nothing.
Don't have to worry about that.
Cover the youngster's eyes or anything.
No adult situations. Ooh, sorry. No adult situations. No kind of like well, there is language. Hold on a second. There we go. All right. That will be edited out.
Yep, absolutely.
There's language. There is language in it. But I just want to state this: the language that's in it. Put yourself in that situation. Would you be screaming, "Oh my goodness! Oh my stars and bars"? No.
Holy snakes, Batman!
Right.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, they use very situational language for this film,
right?
And is it adult words? Absolutely,
very very adult words. But listen,
it's not cursing for the sake of cursing,
right?
though. Right.
It's not every other bleeping word is a bleeping cuss bleeping word. I mean, it's there, and I'm just gonna. I don't care. I don't care how religious of a person you are. If you are in that situation, you're probably going to be screaming some explicatives too.
Oh, absolutely. And it's a PG-13 movie, so it's what I refer to as a Gremlins Temple of Doom moment, and you kind of have it's that in between where it may be more extreme for some kids, it may be less extreme for others.
Right.
You kind of have to gauge it. This is one of those iffy ones.
Right. And you might want to gauge it properly, because some kids may be able to handle it. I mean, it's got some violence in it. Most of the violence comes from, the snake.
Yep.
But just kind of gauge it along with your kid or kids as to whether or not they've seen any of that kind of stuff, or if that's something that they can handle.
Yeah.
Because some people might not be able to handle that. Some kids may not be able to handle it.
But, I think for most children, they're probably fine unless they have like a severe snake phobia. Right. But most young kids are going to see a big giant snake and go, oh, and want to watch it, Now,
my wife has a huge, I'm not going to say a phobia of snakes. I don't think she's like really scared of them. She has a severe disgust of snakes. Snakes disgust her.
Yeah, she wouldn't even touch your bucket.
Yeah, she wouldn't even touch the bucket. Um, so if there's somebody in your family that has a true dislike for snakes or a true phobia of snakes, you definitely want to keep them away from this one, because this snake does not look like the Sci-Fi Channel snakes on the other Anaconda movies. This one actually looks real.
Yeah, I mean, from the texture, from the moisture on the snake to the
Yeah.
eyes that blink. I mean,
even when it's in the water.
Yeah.
When it's in the water, it looks. I mean, it's tremendous. The CGI effects are great in this movie.
Now, the comedy aspect, they delivered on the comedy. People were howling, especially there's one scene in particular. Some of it's featured in the trailer, but you don't really get to see the full extent of it till you see it in the movie. But people were just howling in the audience, and I saw this movie not the week that it came out. I waited and saw it till this past week, and there were still loaded with people in the audience. Like, people are going to see this movie, and it just goes to show that, like, Anaconda still, after all these years, even after all the deaths they've had, still has staying power. And maybe some of it is because of Jack Black, because people really do like him.
Yeah, they like him. They like Paul Rudd,
Mm-hmm.
and the nostalgia of the Anaconda movies. When I took my son to see it, there weren't very many people in the theater, and I think the reason is because it was really close after the holidays.
Yep.
And it was because because it's an Anaconda movie, and I think word had to actually get out.
It's like,
hey, you know what? You might want to go and see this. And I think word had to get out and get spread around, and the holidays had to kind of wear off before people were actually brave enough to go and try to spend time and cash on it.
And it was one of those things that immediately after I saw it, I actually texted Keith. I'm like, I will be there on the day that we record our videos to record this one. I said, we need to have a review out for this movie, because I feel like people are going to be missing out if they don't go see this one.
So let's get into that portion of it. We covered the language and the violence and the adult situations. You don't really have any of that to fear from this movie if your kids are familiar with. I mean, if your kids have watched a movie, then anything more than a rated G animated movie from Disney, then they've seen and heard more than what's going to be in this film.
Yeah. I mean, and there's no like extreme gore. Like, you're not going to see arms ripped off or anything like that. They don't do that. So if you're worried about that part, no, it's just literally the snake gulps and eats them whole. Usually, that's how that works.
But let's get into the logistics of it. Was this movie worth the cash, or was it trash? That's the question we got to answer now. So, tell me what you think about this movie, Chris.
I really enjoyed it. I couldn't believe how much I went in with the lowest expectations, knowing the thing about the franchise, and I laughed all the way through it. I'm like, I could relate to the characters. They're very just down to earth, relatable characters. They're not like completely out of this world. Like, even Jack Black's character was actually toned back for the movie. He wasn't goofy like all the way through like he was in Minecraft.
And loud and obnoxious.
Yeah, he was more like a normal person. And there was actually at times where he was the most level-headed person out of all of them. Right.
Yeah, there were a couple of moments in there where I was kind of shocked. I was like, wow, he can act.
Yeah, okay.
He can do something besides yell funny things.
Yeah, and so he didn't do his normal Jack Black shtick through the whole movie.
Right.
He actually, this was an actual character this go around, so you can be rest assured of that. So if you were really annoyed with him in Minecraft, it's not going to be the case with this movie.
He's not Steve in this movie.
And I will say that for me personally, it was nice to see the reunion of Jack Black and Steve Zahn, because I grew up watching a movie called Saving Silverman that they were both in. So seeing them two, they already had great chemistry together. He's the one that plays the cameraman in the film.
Yeah.
And if you've watched Steve Zahn, he's a wonderful actor, very comedic. And since they already had that familiarity with each other, it just was just great to see their reunion on film again.
Right.
And I really enjoyed it for that aspect. So I had a lot of nostalgia, not just for the original Anaconda movie, but because of those two being in it together. And of course, Paul Rudd does Paul Rudd. He's what you come to expect. I know he's going to deliver if he's in the movie. I've always liked Thandie Newton and what she's been in, so
Yeah.
I didn't really have any issues as far as actors. The movie's only an hour and a half long. Perfect timing for a horror movie. It doesn't really need to be any longer or shorter than that. I thought that was perfect runtime. Was there a couple dry moments in the film? Yeah, they could have
Yeah.
a little bit, but I'm really having to nitpick there to say
Right,
that.
right. You really do.
Yeah, but otherwise, it was serious when it needed to be. It was funny when it needed to be. It was pretty well balanced out for a movie, I have to say.
It was.
And so I really enjoyed it. So to answer that part of the question, I thought it was worth the cash for me personally.
All right, so worth the cash for him. I agree. I enjoyed the movie as well. I'm going to be honest. I haven't watched very many of the previous Anaconda movies. I think I maybe watched the first one, and after that I was done.
Yeah.
But as far as this movie goes, I think this movie was a good tribute to the original and to the following movies, and I think the reason is because it was serious when it needed to be, and it wasn't serious because it's an Anaconda movie.
Yeah, exactly.
So
they didn't take themselves seriously,
right,
which was great.
They didn't take it too seriously. They did at times, but they didn't take it too seriously and make it ridiculous in that aspect.
And they didn't make fun of the franchise either,
right.
Though.
They paid, like I said, they paid very good tribute to it and paid very good homage to it and honored the other films.
And luckily, the trailers do not. There are surprises in the movie.
Yes.
We will not spoil that here.
Extreme surprises.
So don't leave when you think the movie's over at first. There is a scene right at the beginning of the credits, so please stay for that, because some people got up and left before that happened, and they really missed out on something that made my audience applaud when they saw it.
Right.
So
right.
if that doesn't get you excited to see this, I don't know what will at this moment. But my audience, this movie was made for the fans. I will say that.
And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the film. I enjoyed watching it. I laughed all the way through. I'm sure I probably missed some parts because I was laughing so hard. I wasn't the only one laughing. There weren't very many people in the theater with us, but I wasn't the only one laughing. There were others that were. But yeah, it was. I really enjoyed it. It was a fun movie. Now I will say that it probably should have come out in the summertime.
Agreed.
To get away from the holidays, and because this was more of a fun summertime movie. It just had that kind of feel. But yes, I to answer the question, is it worth the cash or was it trash? This one was definitely worth your cash. Go see it in the theaters so that you can support it and let them know, hey, we like this kind of movie and we want more of it. When it comes out on Blu-ray, it will definitely be in my Blu-ray collection.
Oh, actually, absolutely, because again, with that rewatchability, because there's parts of it I'm sure I missed because I was laughing so hard, and they probably made little quips that I'll laugh even more at that I missed the first time.
Right.
Because they do a lot of, you can tell that there's a lot of ad-libbing in the script, because when you have Steve Zahn, Jack Black, and Paul Rudd, they're all three great at ad-libbing.
Right.
So I'm sure there's things I missed, because you will. Right. I was almost in tears in parts of it laughing. I was laughing so hard.
I was too. And this was one of those, hey, you don't want to get up in the middle of the movie and go to the bathroom kind of movies.
Absolutely, because you are going to miss something.
You will definitely miss something. So what would you rate this? How many sodas would you give it?
You know what? I've had enough time to think about it. I'm still going to give this an 8. I am absolutely going to give this an 8.
Yeah.
Like, it's not the funniest movie I've ever seen, but it was way better than I expected.
Right.
So I think a good maybe 7.5 to an 8, somewhere in there. I think that's being very generous.
Right. Well, I'm going to be a little bit better because, like you, I went into it with very low expectations, very, very low expectations. And because it surprised me so well, and because it made me laugh so hard, I'm going to give this an 8.5, maybe a 9.
There you go.
Because this, out of the popcorn buckets, because this one really just surprised me that much. And I had so much fun watching it.
Yep. And as always, a disclaimer, just remember that this is their star rating in this moment. It could change depending on after viewings and everything else.
Ask us in about a month, and we no.
Yeah, it could have been just nostalgia or how we were feeling in that moment. So I always just take our ratings with a grain of salt. But it is definitely worth the cash. No matter how much my rating, it's not going to change that much dramatically.
Yeah, I don't think mine will change that much with this.
Yeah, because it is good. And if I'm saying I'm going to add it to my collection, that rating's not going to change that much because it is a good movie.
If we go and spend the money at the theater, and then we also buy it and put it in our Blu-ray collection, it is an A number one movie.
Yep,
it really is.
So try to support the movie if you can. If you can't, it'll be on Netflix in probably about 2 months or so.
Probably.
So at least try to check it out there, because we really need to send Sony a signal. This is how you make a movie. This is the movies that we want, because we support Sony clearly. It's on our headphones. So please go out and see this movie.
Yes.
Remember to like, share, subscribe if you haven't already. Every subscription helps our channel grow, and we want to continue to make great content for you guys. Remember to hit that bell notification for when our next video drops, so you don't miss a single one of our reviews. And as always, thank you for watching.
Yes, thank you very much. Listen, that's our cue to go. We got to get out of here. Keep watching. Keep liking, keep subscribing, spread the word, spread the gospel of Friday night movie reviews. Go and see this movie. This was fun. It was really, really fun. Grab a whole bunch of people together. You guys pile into the car. Y'all go get you some popcorn. Get there early. Get some popcorn. Get your drinks. And remember, when you're sitting there and you're watching this movie and you feel something slithering over your shoulders or maybe wrapping itself around your neck, remember, enjoy your movie.